Hello, welcome back to Tbsp Bakehouse. I'm Jimmy and today we're going to be making Nutella cupcakes, and why not? Who doesn't love Nutella cupcakes? So, if you've seen my other cupcakes before, you know when I go for a flavour, I really do. So we are going to put Nutella in the cupcake, we're going to put Nutella in the buttercream. This is going to be a hit you in the face Nutella cupcake. So, there's a little box here that you'll see underneath my video. It's got a little V here. If you click on that V, my written recipe will be underneath there. It saves me telling you all about this now. So just click this little V here and it'll all drop down. So let's get started. So I'm going to begin by combining all of my dry ingredients, then I'm going to put all my wet in. So in with my white sugar and my brown sugar. Then I've got cocoa powder and plain flour, bicarbonate of soda and baking powder. And this is just going to get mixed up. So you can do this with your paddle, or you can just do it by hand. And sometimes I find that doing it by hand just allows you to see that it's actually properly combined. Sometimes the paddle misses bits, and when it's in here it's so much taller, it's not going to chuck everywhere. So that's it, that's in. Happy with that? So now in with the wet ingredients. So I've got some buttermilk here. Now I make this myself. Again, it'll be in the box just there, but I just use milk and lemon juice. So straight in with that. I have got my eggs and vanilla that's gone in there as well. My oil, which is flavourless oil. And my boiling water that's cooled, so that we don't scramble those eggs. So now I'm just going to give this a quick mix up, and then I'm going to add the Nutella. So where's my tea towel? Here. Put it over the top, you don't want to get stuck. Lowest speed, always the lowest. We don't want to overwork this and make it too dense. So we just want this to combine. Smell's already hitting. Okay, it's combined enough. I'm now going to add the Nutella in. Yum yum. So sticky. So just use your paddle just to get off what you can. There we go. And then we're going to give this a last whiz round, again on low, just to make sure that is completely combined. And grab a jug to pour this into. Right. This is quite a wet mixture, so into a jug will make it so much easier. Right, just give this a scrape down. Obviously I've got the cream and paddle, but make sure you really scrape that bottom. You do not want to get to the bottom of that and it not be mixed up. There we are. Lovely. Let's remove this. Hey! Over there. Right. Pour this straight into the jug. This is such a simple recipe. So easy. Right, in it goes. Look at that. Lovely. Right, let's bring this forward. Move this out of the way. Oh, don't like this. Oh, I made it worse. Right, let's pour this in. I've got a spoon just to catch the underneath part. And so we're just going to take this to slightly over halfway on each one. So I will carry on with the rest off camera and show you when I've finished. Right, it's in. Look at the mess I've made. So, like I said, they're about just over half. I wouldn't say 3/4, they're just over half full. I'm going to pop these into the oven now. My oven is on 155 to 160 degrees on a fan, which is about 175 to 180 on a regular. If you haven't got a thermometer for the inside of your oven, I really recommend getting one, because every oven just works in a different way. So that's always a really good tip. So these are going to go in for about 18 to 21 minutes, and I'll be back as soon as they're finished. See you in a moment. Right, whilst they're in the oven, let's get on with the buttercream. So I've got my, again, the recipe is in this. So I've got my butter here, making sure that it is butter. If there is ingredients in the back of your block of butter that says oil, oil just melts so easily. If it's hot, you're going to really struggle, and you just never get the same resistance with anything else other than 100% butter. So I'm going to put this in, as I always do. I'm going to beat and beat and beat and beat this for about 5 to 7 minutes. I have a creaming paddle. You can use either. You can use a creaming paddle or you can use a whisk. I know that a lot of people say that you shouldn't use these for buttercream, but it really doesn't make any difference, because so long as it's the bit where we put the icing sugar in that we smooth it out with, the fact that you're putting loads of air in with this or that, both is exactly the same. So take your pick, paddle or whisk. It doesn't make any difference. So let's do this between 5 and 7 minutes, scraping down around about every 2 minutes, and we'll have lovely fluffy buttercream. Here we begin. I'll see you in a moment. Right, so I could take this further if I wanted to. I changed over to my whisk just to show you that it can be done with this too, and not just a creaming paddle. So if I compare the two there, I don't know if you can see, look at the difference in the colour. I mean, that's just white practically, and that's where I began. So there is a really big difference there. Let's take this off, show you. There we go. Oh, there it is. Hang on. There. I mean, that's such a lovely colour. It doesn't even look like butter anymore, and that's where you always want your buttercream to be. So if you're having troubles, then just make sure that you use this one, because it's the next bit that changes it. What you use to begin isn't really going to make any difference. So now we're going to add the icing sugar. Now I have added cocoa powder into my icing sugar. So I'm going to do what I always do. This has been sieved. I'm going to put in a third of that to begin. I'm going to put my paddle back on again, because anything we do now must be low, because we cannot put more air into this. So this goes on now, really low. How did it fly? It's annoying. And then let this combine. When you're happy, take your tea towel off. Ooh, a little bit early. And then we're going to put the next one in, and when we put the next third in, we're going to boil the kettle because we need that boiling water. So that is lovely, and it just combines now, which I'm happy, as you can see from the paddle just there. So we're going to pop a little bit more in. I am also going to put some vanilla in, because I love vanilla with my chocolate. So I'm going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to let that go now while I go and boil the kettle, come back to you, and we're going to finish it off. So simple. Right, that's still going around there for a moment. Just turn that off, and my cupcakes are done. So let's take these out. Look at those. They look so good. So they're bounce backable. I'm going to pop them on the side there. And just as I pour this last bit in, then I'll take them out of the tray, because that's what causes the peeling sometimes if you leave them in the tray too long. So let's put the rest of our icing sugar in. Where's my tea towel? Oh, sorry, I have a spoon on the floor. Give it a kick. Right. And then I'm expecting this to get a little bit claggy, a little bit thick. It's not terrible, but as you can see, my machine is jumping slightly. Now this Nutella is quite wet, so I am going to put this in before I add any other liquid. So I'm just going to pop that inside there. Make sure I get it all. Right, I can hear the machine having a little bit of a pull there, so it does need some water in there. So I've got my boiling water. Where's my spoons here? I'll start with a teaspoon. You can go over really, really quickly. So you just want to make sure that you don't go too far. Always boiling water because it really, really helps. Right, let's take these out. One I overfilled, so I did slightly overfill one of them. Happens to all of us. There we go. Excellent. Oh, they look so good and the smell is lovely. Right, still not quite there. I'm going for one more. I'm going to give it a scrape down. Still very thick. Now remember, we've got icing sugar in there, we've got cocoa powder, Nutella itself is quite thick, so we just need to make sure that we're adding the right consistency for the right amount to get the right consistency. Words help, don't they? If I say them properly, they really help. Right, now more. So this is going to be my fourth one. So that's my 4th teaspoon. And I think I'm nearly there. That is looking a lot smoother now. I don't want to take it too far. No, I am. One more. So that's, I've added 5 there, teaspoons, which works out as nearly 2 tablespoons. But for the amount of sugar and the amount of dry we have in there isn't really not expected. So that's going to be absolutely lovely. I always like to leave my buttercream now. It's got a lot of icing sugar in it. Icing sugar can end up gritty even though it's been sieved. So really good way of stopping that from happening is the butter that we do initially, but also now this, leave it. Leave it for about 4 or 5 minutes. On not that low speed is going to knock out all those last air bubbles as well. The boiling water has helped with that to relax it too. Let it do its own thing. Wait for those to cool and we'll come back and we will bite. So I'll see you soon. Right, let's finish off this these Nutella cupcakes. So here is my buttercream. Now I always find a really good thing to do when you've got your buttercream is give it a really good stir yourself. Afterwards, get a smaller amount in, and that'll just knock out any of those extra bits, giving you a lovely, smooth finish to your buttercream. So, that's mine. Now, I'm using a 2D. I don't know why I looked, because I knew where it was. Into the glass. I've held back some of my mixture, it's over on the side, just because I'm using a smaller piping bag and I don't want it to be oozing out the top, so I can add more afterwards. Right, so give it a sheet down. Push and turn. Brilliant. Right. Come onto the top here and we're going to push down, come out and around and all the way up. My hand's shaking. Why is my hand shaking? Look at that. Who would not want to eat that? Now you don't have to go quite so heavy handed with the buttercream, but I love it. So just another one there. And one more so that you can see what I'm doing. Again, I'm pushing down, I'm going up and around anti-clockwise, back up to the top, in a little bit, back up, in a little bit, push down and release. And that is Nutella cupcakes with Nutella buttercream, and then you can put what you like on the top of there. You could put a little jar of chocolate with hazelnuts in or something, would finish that off absolutely lovely. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know what you think of them and I will see you soon. Take care.